Legorve doesn't return the favor by picking Redwoods, having a feeling that they don't want to play it. And I thought that it was going to be a match full of like 3-5s and 3-6s with the two bans and the two restricts that came out, but we end up on all venues that are 4-8s and 5-8, so should be pretty interesting. We'll see a lot of probably good sniper play from both players. Standings wise, let me take a quick peek. We've got player standings. What is this? Copper. Legorve is currently sitting 8-0-1, while Yglini is 5-3. So let's see if Yglini can make a dent into Legorve's SCL score. We're going to be starting out on Modern with Legorve on boots. Let me just get this loaded up and we'll go into it. You pick up a highlight for headed into bar early. Legorve ends up leaving bar, bails to go ahead in with the seduction target. Pick up first flirt for, we'll see how much in a moment. Yes, this is Yglini's pick. First flirt for 34%. And for now, we're just timer flirting. We've seen Legorve, I believe, use a trick in an earlier match where they do a lot of start talking and stop talking in rapid succession in larger conversations to move the arrow around. So we'll see if Legorve employs that same trick here. Not sure if it'll be necessary, but it'll be interesting to see if he does do it again. Second flirt up to 68%. It's a pretty slow start. Legorve, playing very slow and very patient, is now stepping into statues to pick up their first inspect. Goes for an early swap, picks up a highlight from Yglini for it, or possibly for statue. We're currently only one of two highlights. I wonder if Rocker was there before, I wasn't paying attention. Nonetheless, it looks like Legorve is going to step back into conversation with Salmon to work on flirt, probably get that finished up here in a few seconds. Goes for a fake contact, so Legorve recognizing that they need to lower their suspicion level. However, Legorve doesn't realize that Mom, who is also in conversation, is the suspected double agent, and Yglini sees that Legorve is talking during that fake contact, takes the correct shot, earning them the first point on Sniper here on Modern. So here we go, Yglini in the lead. Yglini stepping in as Mom, who was the one that got Legorve killed last round, goes for some interesting pathing here, trying to kind of do some bouncing redirect looking type stuff to pick up the first flirt for 34%, and Legorve is already on top of it. Does kind of a sweeping highlight, trying to mask it a little bit while they were also low lighting some of the double agents, and Yglini in a pretty dangerous position with that early of a highlight. The pathing and the instant pathing and or the instant talk may have caught Legorve's eye. Legorve taking some speculative lowlights onto Pearls here, who's hanging out at the very front side of the venue. Also, one of the slowest, if not the slowest, I think, character in the game. So usually not picked on Modern, as it's a very large venue, and picking such a slow character really hinders your ability to finish missions. Yglini takes out a book, steps back into conversation, grabs the flirt, and does a stop talk. We'll see if Legorve is really watching here. Safety off toggling onto Yglini through the pillar so that the laser doesn't come through, but he is then able to tell us who he thinks it is. So Yglini, it's pretty dismal outlook here. If Yglini knew their suspicion level, they could try and do a frame, but it's very unlikely that the spy here suspects that they're high on the list of suspects. So just means that as soon as Yglini does kind of their first hard tell mission, they're just gonna get shot. Here goes the longest contact in SCL history. Finally, it goes off. Legorve prioritizes lowlights. I believe should be noticing that Mom is in combo here. And is trying to style, was lining up the shot so that when Yglini walked back to blue or green book, passing there, he was going to shoot. He was going to make the spy walk into the laser, I think. But Yglini stops short and enters conversation with Kane from across to finish up Fleur before heading in. Shot should be coming off soon. Yglini's still holding on to this book. Not sure what their fourth mission plan is going to be. Heading out to the front window here. Yeah, sorry, let me get the board fixed there. And there's the shot onto Teal. Let's do it this way. There we go. And that's going to be a point for Legorve, so that should get swapped. There we go. Sometimes it's a little buggy. And they're still playing their third game, so we'll take a look at the picks and bans. Wait, I can't play this during this. The VOD will get nuked. Damn Twitch. Alright, next game's up. We'll head in with Legorve on Disney. A couple highlights on the bar. Here goes the microfilm. Legorve starting out with the green micro. That's the easier of the two. Takes up first flirt from across for 27%. And I believe last sniper game, Yglini was tracking the bar and timing it and bringing those that, bringing them back down to neutral after it had been 60 seconds. Legorve heading into their second book visit. Going to be looking to get the red microfilm here. I have a feeling that he's not going to go for it while at red case. And may just bring it out somewhere. Yep, here we go. Legorve bringing the book out. Probably over to the far right side of the venue to be off screen. Yep, here we go. Legorve may have suspected a highlight right there, but it was actually on his seek. Green action test. I was in the split screen mode, so we weren't able to see everything that the sniper was seeing, but I do believe it was off screen. When you go in split screen, it crops it, it doesn't compress it, so you actually don't see everything that the sniper's seeing. Legorve returning the red book is going to get their first mission complete. 1:58 seconds left on the clock. It's likely going to be looking to get Seduce done here soon, but I have a feeling Legorve may pick up a drink on the way out. Yep. Stepping into bars, gonna pick up a drink, and then likely try to find flirt. Maybe go for contact if real DA is out of conversation. So probably just gonna try and flirt somewhere. Heads into convo, hoping that Alice was gonna stop there as she was walking towards us. Ends up going past and headed into green books. At this point, Legorve may just throw out a delegate onto like Sari here. As time is waning down and we need to get some missions done. And Legorve in real danger of not being able to mission complete here. Did pop off that purloin to Sari to get that mission done. He's going to head into statues to work on flirt and is going to pick up an inspect, may even swap. And purloin timer expired right as Sari takes the drink. Is almost going to be forced to go for a swap here at this point. Goes for the inspect instead. Is going to jump into conversation with Alice to pick up the flirt. It's going to have to be quick, and he's going to have to leave convo and go for something else. It's going to probably have to be inspect swap on the front statues here. And a shot goes off onto Seek. I'm not sure why. There was no hardtail showing, no swap, no purloin, and no contact had gone off. There's really no reason to take this kind of shot here. You would have had to give Seek a lot of credit there with fingerprints and micro. He has an inspect. He's been to Blue Book. He finished inspects. Blue Book twice. I realize this isn't rewind, but it still works. Seek gets a fingerprint. And then maybe does a little bit of flirting. So some unfortunate mission tracking from Yglini, as I think that could have been well within their grasp to take that point. And Legorve is going to go up 2-1 with a spy win here on Modern. Yglini loading in his general, and in a close high-level match like this, what you're really looking for is just one spy win and then holding serve on sniper. Yglini starting out in an innocent conversation, hoping that the ST joins. However, the ST being queen is going to head in for first briefcase. Still hanging out in an innocent conversation, waiting for the seduction target to settle down so we can work on flirt. She stops in the front left conversation, and Yglini's eyeing it up, probably ready to leave on the next idle reset, and they do, and is heading over to queen to get first flirt. Joins combo at 3:12. See how long they wait. Goes for flirt at 3:03. Into a stop talk. First flirt's only for 32%. Both of these players playing very slow at the start of the game, which is forcing them to do a lot at the end. It did work out for Legorve, but I'm worried about Yglini's pacing thus far. Kind of did an innocent talk at the beginning of the round, has now headed in for a timer flirt with queen, and has not landed the green action test on the first one. So it's going to have to be a 3 flirt nonetheless. Second flirt goes off right as queen leaves, up to 64%. Which means we are in danger of getting another 34 and hitting a 98%. So it's got to be like it's got to be a green test, I think, for the third one. Leaves the front left conversation to head to the back right side of the venue. Decides to step into statues to pick up the first set of inspects. It's in the back right, and there's a lot of cover from that back right conversation circle. The swap may be in order, and it may be something that Legorve's not expecting at this point in the game. Legorve throws a highlight onto General, who ends up also taking a fingerprint from these statues. Legorve also highlights Duke, who was working on inspects themselves, and throws out a fake low light onto Rocker, who is at the very far right corner of the venue, where you would go for microfilm or time ad.
And the end of red.
Yglini steps into conversation with the double agent, goes for a green split. It works out. Legorve prioritizing lowlights. We don't see a safety off toggle onto Yglini for the split. Decides to split into the far left side statues. Yglini is going to be wrapping up inspect at about 40 seconds. And a fingerprint on that statue. Great memory by Yglini. It shows that he's really paying attention and tracking the party here, and is picking up these fingerprints well after they're put onto these points by the ambassador, and has set themselves up for a pretty decent position here. 25 seconds left on the clock, 3 missions done, being inspect, fingerprint, and contact. Just needs to wrap up flirt with Queen. However, I do believe it has to be a green test. Legorve playing patient, not moving the camera too much. Just waiting to see what happens. Goes for the flirt, hits the 98%. Legorve is on top of it nonetheless, takes the shot anyways, in case that was a flirt finish. And Legorve's sniper is just insane. So we're going to be exiting Yglini's pick of Modern with a 3-1 lead for Legorve. We'll throw up the picks and bans while they load their next game on Ballroom. Oh, is Yglini, is she? I don't think I've ever played Yglini. Alright, let's take a look at Ballroom here, with Legorve loading in as Tex. Glad it's named Tex in the stream controller. Legorve hanging out in conversation with the seduction target, who is Smallman. However, Sari is between the two of them, kind of reducing the option for Yglini to get a flirt pair. Legorve picks up the first flirt up to 49%. Meanwhile, Yglini takes a statue highlight onto Plain Twin, who's in the back right statue. Alice steps into the left side, far left statue. No highlight onto Alice as of yet. Fairly docile party, a lot of partygoers just in conversation talking. We've had 2 statue visitors, but other than that, everyone's pretty still. Plain Twin did step into blue books, and now steps into conversation to work on their first perceived flirt. Meanwhile, Legorve picks up his second flirt to 80%, again with a character between himself and the seduction target, really masking the flirt pair here. Decides to throw out a contact, which is going to let a lowlight off onto Alice, who was one of the few statue goers. Lowlight on Duke, who is picking up a briefcase, and a lowlight onto Seek, who Yglini is assuming was a split into statues. Meanwhile, Legorve has finished up Seduce, let off a green Purloin. We'll see how on top of it Yglini is. There is a bit of suspicion on Seek, as Seek has Inspect and has now picked up a briefcase. Plain Twin, who is another highlight, ends up rejecting, and this chain is just going on forever. It's being offered to Smallman, who is our seduction target, who is going to take the drink. We'll see if the fate is noticed. The list being gone is seen by Yglini. Let's see if she has the chain down. Looks like she's still checking to see if the list is there, so isn't 100% sure that it's gone. Legorve is going to go ahead and take an innocent drink and a low light for it. Lowlight's popping off onto Seek and Smallman. Smallman was the person that took the list. And Yglini at this point now likely crediting the Purloin as a green to plain twin. We'll see if Legorve can get a fourth mission through here with only 18 seconds left on the clock and no progress on anything else. Drink in hand, it's likely to be a crash bug here. It is a wrong arm, but there's a little bit of a hesitation as Legorve steps into it. Yglini's camera was on it, but it looks like her eyes may have been elsewhere. And with 1 second left on the clock, Legorve is going to get a mission completion. Let's take a look at that bug again, as there was a little bit of a hiccup here. Surprisingly, so it looks like the twin bumps Legorve and stops them from getting close. I'm very surprised that you can start the bug from that far away. That has to be the max range in which you can start a bug. So misses the first one and then has to go for it again and stops right here as the little bit of the hiccup. But as a low light, it ends up being unseen. And another point for Legorve heading into the next round of ballroom, up 4-1. Yglini stepping in his boots. Pops off their first flirt for 34%, goes for an instant white purloin. Let's see if Legorve notices. Trey very obviously gone. Legorve low lights Toby, which they may be doing as an indication to tell us that they know that the list is gone. Zooming in and looking around. Meanwhile, Yglini stepped into the back to gulp the drink to get rid of the evidence. Then goes over to the statue. Legorve is on top of it and takes the shot. Bit of a camera shake from Yglini. I think it was either probably a missed action priority on the drink take here, or just really wanted the green test. Legorve stepping back in as queen. And is up currently 5-1. Grabs their first flirt for 47%. Yglini is down 1-5, but still has an opportunity to bring it back here. Picking up a win on Ballroom as Sniper is certainly possible. Ballroom, I think, considered one of the most balanced venues for Sniper versus Spy. So it's well within possibility for Legorve to get a Spy win. But Yglini Sniper is pretty strong. There's just been a couple mishaps here and there. So hopefully she can pull through and pick up a win and then head into their first singled venue of Gallery. And if they can get a double there, then
in the end of red,
it's game. Not game over, but Yglini will have a shot to make the comeback there. Legorve, meanwhile, is going to let off an early contact here, relatively early. Quite a few lowlights into an innocent drink take, and is just hanging out in conversation across from the seduction target, waiting for the cooldown to expire. Leaves conversation to work on the flirt cooldown, steps into an innocent one with Salmon and General in the front left. Irish at the front left statues picks up a highlight for inspecting, and is going to step into briefcase. Legorve may be tempted to go for a bug here as the ambassador steps to the front side of the venue. Thinks better of it and is going to rejoin conversation with the seduction target to finish up flirt. Alright, Legorve is done with flirt and contact, the two kind of foundational missions here on Ballroom. They're pretty standard, and has a minute left to get the other two. And Yglini takes a shot onto Irish, who was very suspicious this game. Had inspect, had a briefcase. Let's see what else Irish had. Maybe that was a second. Maybe that was a second print. No. Yglini may have phantomed the ambassador since their arrow is over there, or maybe Yglini is thinking that Irish went to that case just so they had a reason to grab that briefcase afterwards. And prior to that, Irish could have had Bug. You could definitely credit Bug right there. And started out at statues, so did she actually get the inspect? No, it was taken, but did start out at statues. Yglini also could have thought that the inspect from Irish later was to pick up a print. It was actually on the center statue, but still could have phantomed that they did have fingerprint done and Bug and then contact and maybe seduce credit. So somewhat reasonable shot, but nonetheless, Legorve is going to pick up the win for that one for the Civ shot, and we're going to head into another round of ballroom. 6-1 Legorve in the lead. Yglini stepping in as Smallman. Maybe hoping to get some cheese here. No, it doesn't look like Irish finished statues. Went to go pick up a statue, but it was stolen by Sorry. Starting out in conversation with the seduction target and an SDA. The SDA in between the two of them picks up first flirt for 47%. And Yglini just working on a timer flirt here. Not much of a reason to leave this conversation as long as our ST stays with us. And Wheels, the seduction target, now steps out of conversation and into green books. Yglini is requesting a drink, so we're likely to see a purloin here. It is pretty well covered by a handful of party members and the pillar due to Legorve's positioning. And ends up going for an innocent drink take as a reason to leave the conversation. My mistake, not an innocent, there is a fingerprint on it. And Yglini grabs their first fingerprint. Steps into conversation over the top of the briefcase, likely going to wait here until the ambassador leaves so that they can then take that briefcase and finish up fingerprint here. Minute 45 left on the clock, 47% of a flirt, one fingerprint in pocket, and set up to take the second one as soon as the ambassador leaves. Yglini's still not grabbing the briefcase. It does look like the ambassador repositioned out of the conversation, but just over to the one that's right next to us. So Yglini may be worried that it's too close. However, Kane steps over to start taking the briefcase. We probably could have just nabbed it from him. Instead, Yglini is going to elect to step into conversation with Wheels, the seduction target, from across to grab the next flirt up to 73%. The double agent joins us in conversation. Could go for a contact as we do need some mission progress. Only 1 minute left and we have no missions completed. Double agent leaves. There's a spot next to Wheels where we could finish up our flirt. Instead, it looks like Yglini is going to head to one of the front windows, and we may see a timeout here as she's a bit short on time. No pun intended. Waiter offers drink. We're going to go ahead and reject. We didn't end up going for the time ad. We're going to path by the ambassador and not take the bug. Stepping into conversation with the double agent, we're probably going to see a contact, maybe into a bug exit.
And the end of red.
We've got the beep beeps. Contact goes off, double agent bails on us, so we don't end up getting real. And at this point, I think Yglini is going to commit to a timeout, unless they're going to jump over and go for a timeout at the last moment. Exits conversation, steps into the front windows instead of the side windows. This could spell danger for Yglini if they go for a timeout here in front of Legorve. It ends up being a white. Legorve is on top of it, takes the shot on Yglini to take the second marble and win the set 7-1. I think Yglini here could have maybe stepped into these. Nonetheless, I think Legorve is going to catch a time ad, but maybe these would have been a little bit more covered. So a good set overall. Yglini looked strong in the beginning, but Legorve really just started to pull ahead and show, why they are 8-0-1 in their division. Just very strong spy, very strong fundamentals, good sniper play, just really on top of everything. Yglini had some moments as well where she was shining, but unfortunately got a bit unlucky with the party. Some of the Civ shots that she took were on party goers that actually did have some real mission progress. So I would say, maybe Yglini needs to just wait a little bit longer. But when you're playing as an underdog against someone like Legorve, you want to try to get them early instead of letting them get far along in their mission progress in case you missed something. So pretty understandable civ shots in that sense. Nonetheless, a good game to both competitors, and congrats to Legorve for remaining undefeated in their division. And